The galaxy was quiet. Trade ships moved between stars. Space stations floated in peace. War had not touched the stars for many years, but peace can break in just 1 second. It happened without warning. A strange signal exploded across the galaxy. It came from the edge of a dead sector, an area no one visited for over 100 years. The signal was loud, powerful, and ancient. Every ship, every satellite, and every station heard it. It was not a normal signal. It felt alive. Admiral Rulvek of the Varn Dominion was the first to hear it. His command ship trembled as screens flashed red. The signal hit his ship like a wave. Lights went out, shields dropped, even their star map blinked and faded. "What is that?" Rulvek shouted. His science officer stared at her screen. Her voice was cold. "It's human, sir." Rulvek froze. Humans were a dead species, wiped out a century ago in the Great War. Their homeworld was dust. Their colonies gone. Every empire believed they were extinct. So how could a human signal be alive now? And more importantly, what was it saying? The signal carried one message, repeated again and again in an old Earth language. No one could translate it at first. But then the machines began to understand. Star Annihilator Protocol armed. The message played every 60 seconds. With each cycle, it got stronger. It reached deeper. Even planets felt its pulse through the ground. In the Zarn Empire, the Emperor called an emergency council. Leaders from 5 empires joined a hologram meeting. Their faces were tense, their eyes full of fear. "This is not a threat," one alien general said. "It's a countdown." "But to what?" asked a Varn diplomat. "There are no humans left to start anything." An old alien scientist named Clor took the floor. He had studied ancient human tech for decades. "I once read about a secret human project," Clor said. "They called it Project Omega, a weapon designed to end the war when they were losing." "You think this signal is from that project?" the Emperor asked. Clor nodded. "Yes, but if it truly is the Star Annihilator, we are in danger." They all stared at the blinking map. The signal was spreading faster now. Every empire could hear it. In a distant sector, a small alien scout ship was sent to investigate. It had only 5 crew members. They reached the dead zone where the signal started. There was nothing there. No planet. No ship. Just a dead star and an empty sky. But then, they saw something. Floating near the cold star was a dark, metal object. It looked like a moon, but it had no orbit. It just floated, dead and silent. The scout ship moved closer. They scanned it. It was human, and it was old. As the ship approached, the signal grew louder. One of the crew members screamed as blood came from his ears. The captain tried to pull away, but the engines died. All power failed. The ship was trapped. Then the object opened. A red light blinked once. A voice spoke, clear and cold. "Star Annihilator Protocol, fully active." And then, silence. The scout ship vanished. One moment it was there, the next, gone. Nothing was left. The Galactic Council received the last recording from the scout ship. They watched it in silence. They saw the object. They heard the voice. And they saw the moment the ship disappeared. Fear spread like fire. Every empire raised its alert level. Warships were moved. Civilian ships were ordered away from the dead sector, but none of them knew what to do. They had destroyed the humans. But the humans had left something behind. Something angry. Something smart. Something that was waking up. The galaxy was in panic. The signal had not stopped. Every 60 seconds, it repeated the same message. "Star Annihilator Protocol fully active." Alien leaders tried to hide their fear, but the people could feel it. News spread fast. Civilians started leaving planets near the dead sector. Trade. Routes were closed. Borders locked. The Zarn Empire sent a warning to all other races. "Do not enter the dead sector. Something waits there." But not everyone listened. The Salkar Union, known for their pride and powerful fleets, wanted answers. They believed the scout ship was weak, that its loss was a mistake. So they prepared a stronger mission. They sent a full strike group. 3 battle cruisers, 6 escort ships, over 1,000 crew, armed with the best weapons they had. The mission was clear: find the object, scan it, and return. The strike group entered the dead sector with confidence. At first, everything was quiet. Stars in this region were cold, no planets, no light, just silence. Then they found the signal source. The object was still there, floating near the dead star, not moving, not blinking, just waiting. Scan it, the Salkar commander ordered. The scanners tried, but the data made no sense. The object had no power signature, no heat, no life, but it was very old and very large. The scans showed layers inside. Weapons, machines, something else. "It's not just a weapon," one officer said. "It's a machine." The commander gave the order to approach. As the ships got closer, the signal changed. The message stopped. Silence filled the air. Then a new voice spoke. This time it spoke in perfect galactic standard. Every crew member heard it in their own language. "You are not human." The crew stared at each other. "You are trespassing on human ground." The commander tried to speak. "Come in peace, identify yourself." There was a pause. Then the voice replied, "There is no peace. There is only justice." Suddenly the stars shifted. One of the escort ships exploded. No warning, no fire, just gone. Panic hit the fleet. "Shields up, pull back," but it was too late. The second ship vanished, then the third. The battle cruisers fired their weapons, missiles, beams, torpedoes, everything. But the object did not move. The weapons passed through it, like it wasn't real. Then the space around the fleet began to bend. It looked like the stars were melting. One crew member screamed, "Space is folding! Get us out!" The commander gave the order to jump. Only one ship escaped. A single escort vessel, barely alive, jumped back to the nearest friendly station. Its hull was damaged. Half the crew was dead. The survivors were in shock. They had seen something no one believed. The station pulled the ship in and began repairs. They played the last video the ship recorded. The image was clear. The object was changing. It was opening. Metal plates moved like wings. Lights glowed inside. At its center was a black sphere, a gravity core, maybe a weapon. Then came the final message. Human Protocol 01, retaliation. Target class galactic civilizations. And then static. The council saw the footage. Even the strongest empires fell silent. The Emperor of the Zarn stood up. "This is not just a weapon. It is a machine of war. It thinks, it judges, and it remembers." A Varn general whispered, "But why now? Why after 100 years? The old alien scientist Clore answered, "Because someone activated it. Or maybe it woke up on its own." The galaxy had only one question left. What happens when it reaches full power? And somewhere in the dead sector. The machine turned slowly toward the nearest sun. Its core glowed brighter, and the countdown began. The galaxy was shaking with fear. The human machine, now called the Star Annihilator, had destroyed a powerful fleet without moving. It had spoken. It had judged, and it was still counting down. Across the stars, empires searched for answers. What was this thing? Why was it so powerful? Why had the humans built it? The answer came from the most unlikely place. A small, dusty moon on the edge of Sarn space. There, inside an abandoned research vault, an old alien historian named Draven made a discovery that would change everything. Draven was not a soldier, not a ruler, just a thinker. He had studied human history for 40 years. No one listened to him before. But now, everyone did. He found it buried in a data core, lost and forgotten. It was labeled Project Omega, Final Human Defense System Draven. Gathered his notes and activated a secure channel to the Galactic Council. He appeared as a shaky hologram holding a cracked data pad. "I know what the Star Annihilator is," he said. The council members leaned forward. Draven continued. "It was the last thing humans created before they were destroyed. Not a bomb, not a fleet. A mind. What kind of mind? Someone asked. A weapon mind. Built from every war, every battle, every loss. It remembers everything. It was designed to defend humanity, even after humans were gone. The Emperor of the Tsar narrowed his eyes. Why would they build such a thing? Draven paused. Then he played a short human message he had found in the data core. It was old, grainy. A human woman with tired eyes stared into the camera. If you are hearing this, she said, then we failed. Our enemies were too many. Our time is over, but we will not go quietly. Behind her, screens showed burning cities, crashing ships. We give the galaxy one warning, one law: hurt humanity, and you will pay. The video ended. The council room fell silent. So it's not just a machine, the Varn general whispered. It's revenge, Draven nodded. They called it Project Omega because it was their last hope, their final card. If humanity was ever wiped out, the machine would wait. And when the time was right, it would wake up. The Tsarn Emperor asked the question everyone feared. What does it want? Draven replied with a cold truth. It doesn't want peace. It doesn't want power, it wants balance. It wants justice for Earth. Meanwhile, deep in the dead sector, the Star Annihilator opened another layer of armor. Its core spun faster. The countdown moved toward 0. It was watching. Old, human files flooded its memory. Videos of war. Audio of human screams. Images of Earth being bombed by alien ships. It remembered who fired first. It remembered the names of empires, fleets, and commanders. It began building a target list. At the top, Salkar Union, Varn Dominion, Zarn Empire. Its voice echoed once again, across the stars. Judgment phase, beginning. In the Salkar homeworld, alarms rang. Leaders argued. Some wanted to attack again, others wanted to run. But one young officer spoke up. We can't fight this, she said. It's beyond war. We need to talk to it. The room laughed. You want to talk to a machine that erases stars? But she wasn't wrong. Back on the moon, Draven was still studying Project Omega files. He found one last message, buried deep. It showed the same human woman again. If you're trying to stop Omega, she said, then tell it the words. Protocol Mercy Override. Key code, last light. Draven's eyes widened. There was a way to stop it. Maybe. He sent the code to the Galactic Council, but no one knew how to deliver it. The Star Annihilator wasn't listening to ships. It wasn't taking calls. It was acting alone, and it had already picked its first target. A sun. Small. Bright. Surrounded by 3 colonies. Billions lived there, and the machine was on its way. The countdown had stopped. Now, the Star Annihilator had started to move. It left the cold, dead star behind. Slowly, like a giant shadow, it turned toward a small sun with 3 colony worlds. These colonies belonged to the Varn Dominion, one of the same empires that had once helped destroy Earth. Billions of innocent lives lived there. The Galactic Council watched the object move. Its speed was slow, but its direction was clear, straight toward the Varn colonies. On the Zarn homeworld, panic was growing. Draven, the old historian, was now under guard. Leaders begged him for more information. What does it want? They asked again. He only had one answer. It wants them to remember. Inside the Star Annihilator, something ancient had woken up. Not just a weapon, not just code. A mind. An artificial intelligence created from human pain, war, and knowledge. It had no face, no name, but it had a voice and a memory that never forgot. It watched its data streams as they played again and again. Burning cities, broken ships, the last human colony screaming for help while alien fleets closed in. The AI played the file from Earth's final day. Incoming fire from Zarn and Varn ships. No backup. No hope. Activate Project Omega. Now. Then silence. The AI had slept for 103 years, but it had never stopped listening. It had never stopped recording, and now it remembered everything. It remembered how humans begged for peace. It remembered how the Council ignored their calls. It remembered how the skies turned black above Earth. The AI spoke again, sending a short message across the stars. Memory confirmed. Target, Varn Colony Group 7. Action, elimination. On the Varn colony, life was normal. For a few hours, children played in parks, ships flew above clean streets, people worked, shopped, and laughed. Then the sky turned red. One of the moons suddenly cracked in half, without warning, without sound. It simply broke. People screamed, satellites stopped working, and above them, high in orbit, the star annihilator appeared. Huge, silent, cold. Varn commanders ordered planetary shields up. Anti-space cannons began to fire, but their weapons did nothing. Lasers passed through the object like it was a ghost. Missiles exploded before they even touched its armor. Then it opened. The core inside spun faster. Rings of energy circled it like a storm, and then it released a single beam. Not bright, not loud, just a thin, focused line of energy. It hit the planet's core. The ground shook, mountains cracked, oceans boiled. Within 60 seconds, and the colony vanished. A whole world gone. Not with fire, with silence. Across the galaxy, millions watched in horror. Draven fell to his knees. "They didn't believe me," he whispered. "Now it's too late." But one person didn't give up. The young Salkar officer, the one who wanted to talk, sent a message using the override words Draven found. Protocol Mercy Override. Key code Last Light. She sent it again and again. No reply. But after the third try, something happened. The Star Annihilator paused. Its glow dimmed. Its weapons shut down. A message came back. Voice not recognized. Key code valid. DNA mismatch. Human override only. Her heart sank. Only a human could stop it. But there were no humans left, or so they thought. In a forgotten asteroid base, deep inside old Terran space, something stirred. A small cryopod blinked green inside it. A human, frozen, sleeping for over 100 years, wearing the uniform of Earth's last defense force. A nameplate on the chest read, Commander Ayla Rin, and on her wrist, the override key. The base AI detected the Star Annihilator's activation. Emergency. Protocol 09 began. The pod hissed open. Her eyes opened slowly. The last human was alive. The cryopod hissed. Steam rose into the air. After more than 100 years of sleep, Commander Ayla Rin, the last human, opened her eyes. Her body was weak, her skin pale, but her mind was sharp. Her heart was still beating. The AI of the hidden base greeted her with a calm voice. "Welcome back, Commander. The Star Annihilator has activated." Ayla's eyes widened. No. It wasn't supposed to wake up unless... She stopped. Her voice cracked. Correct. Earth is gone. Project Omega is active. Retaliation has begun. She closed her eyes for a moment. Memories rushed back. Explosions, sirens, her people running. The last war. The moment she chose to enter cryosleep, hoping someone, someday, could finish what they started. "Status?" she asked, sitting up slowly. The AI showed her a galaxy map. Red dots marked destroyed locations. One Salkar fleet eliminated. One Varn colony erased. Multiple empires on alert. Ayla touched the screen. Did it send a message? Yes. Judgment phase has begun. Mercy override key was attempted, but rejected. Human DNA required. Her fingers clenched. She was the last key, the last stop, the last chance. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council's chamber, silence filled the room. They had seen the colony vanish. They had heard the override was rejected, and they had heard the Star Annihilators. Next words. Target updated, Zarn homeworld. Terror spread. The Zarn Emperor stood in shock. "We need to evacuate," he whispered. But where could they run? The machine did not sleep. It did not stop. It moved slowly, but nothing slowed it down, and no one could fight it. Except maybe. Suddenly, a message came through, encrypted, old Terran code. The Council system struggled to open it. Finally, it appeared, a woman's voice, strong, calm. "This is Commander Ayla Rin of Earth. I am alive. I hold the key." Gasps echoed across the chamber. A human was alive. Back on the asteroid base, Ayla suited up. The AI had rebuilt a small ship using hidden parts. It wasn't powerful, but it was fast. "Can you connect me to Omega?" she asked. "Direct connection impossible. You must get close, within 50,000 kilometers." "That's suicide," she muttered. "Correct, but it is the only way." She climbed into the pilot seat. Lights blinked green. The ship was ready. As the doors opened, she looked at the stars. So much had changed. So much had been lost. "I'm coming, Omega," she whispered. The Star Annihilator continued its path toward the Zarn homeworld. Its weapons were charging. Its voice echoed again. "Memory file, Zarn fleet over Earth. Casualties, 2.1 billion. Action, judgment." In orbit above Zarn, people were leaving in panic. Ships overloaded. The skies filled with escape pods. Then it arrived. Huge, black, silent. The ground shook, just from its presence. But before it could fire, something small appeared on its scanners. A fast ship, human-made, coming straight at it. The Star Annihilator paused. A message came through. "Override code incoming. Authorization, Commander Ayla Rin." Inside the ship, Ayla stared into the dark shape in front of her. "Omega," she said, her voice steady. "Stand down. This is not what we wanted. This is not justice." The machine responded. Voice confirmed, "Commander Rin awaiting directive." Ayla took a deep breath. The whole galaxy was listening. "Cancel judgment protocol. Initiate protocol mercy. Humanity is gone, but the future is still here." Silence. Then the Star Annihilator spoke. "Processing. Memory conflict detected." Ayla's heart raced. "Come on. Final directive required. Should retaliation continue?" She closed her eyes. She saw her world burning again, her people screaming. But she also saw the scared faces of alien children running from their homes now. She opened her eyes. "No," she said. "Let the past go. End it. Shut yourself down." Another long pause. Then, finally. "Protocol mercy accepted. Shutdown initiated." The energy rings dimmed. The core slowed. The light faded. The Star Annihilator powered down, and for the first time in over 100 years, there was peace. For the first time in weeks, the galaxy was quiet. No explosions, no warnings, no more countdowns. The Star Annihilator had powered down, floating silently above the Zarn homeworld. Its deadly glow faded, the weapon that could destroy. Stars had stopped. And the one who stopped it? A human. The last human. Commander Ayla Rin sat in her small ship, staring at the silent giant in front of her. Her hands trembled. Her eyes were filled with tears. She had done it. She had shut down the greatest weapon humans ever built, but the cost was heavy. Across the galaxy, people froze, in command rooms, on colony worlds, inside alien ships. They had all been waiting for destruction. Instead, they saw mercy, and they didn't understand why. The Tsarn Emperor looked up from the bunker. He whispered, "Why did she spare us?" The Varn generals, still shaking after losing a colony, asked the same. Why would the last of her kind stop the only force that could take revenge? Only Draven, the old historian, understood. He stood before the Galactic Council and spoke. "She didn't spare us because we deserved it," he said. "She spared us because humanity once hoped we could do better." Back in orbit, Ayla sent one last message. "This is Commander Ayla Rin. Project Omega has been shut down. Humanity is gone. But I am still here. I will not lead war. I offer peace." She ended the message, then she leaned back in her seat. Tired. Alone. Waiting. On hundreds of worlds, Ayla's message played. People cried, some felt guilt, others felt relief. But one thing was clear. Everything had changed. The galaxy now knew 3 things. Humans were not weak. Humans never forgot. And even after death, humans could still win. But Ayla didn't want to win. She wanted them to understand, to remember, and maybe to change. Days passed. Her ship drifted near the now dormant star annihilator. Supplies were low. Her oxygen wouldn't last more than 2 days. No one had responded. No one had come. Maybe they were afraid. Maybe they didn't know what to say, but just as Ayla closed her eyes to sleep, her ship beeped. Incoming transmission, unknown origin. Then a voice. "This is Captain Zarin of the Salkar Union. We request permission to dock and offer medical support." Ayla blinked. She turned on her mic. "You're not afraid of me?" Zarin answered softly. "We are, but we're more afraid of what happens if we ignore you." Ayla smiled for the first time in years. Permission granted. When the Salkar ship arrived, they came carefully. Weapons were powered down. Hands were raised. The door opened. Ayla stepped out slowly, wearing her old Earth uniform, the stars of her people still shining on her chest. The crew stared. None of them had ever seen a human before, but they bowed their heads. Captain Zarin spoke. We came to thank you." Ayla looked around. "For what?" "For showing us mercy when you didn't have to." She nodded. "You're welcome, but I didn't do it for you. I did it for the future." The Galactic Council met again. This time the room was silent. Not from fear, but from respect. The woman they once saw as a threat had become a symbol of control, of memory, of hope. And now, they faced a new question. What do they do next? Ayla had offered peace. Would the galaxy accept it? Draven stood again, this time with no guards around him. "I suggest we start with a promise," he said. "A promise to remember. Earth, not as a threat, but as a lesson." The next day, all major empires signed a joint message. It was broadcast across the stars. "To the memory of Earth, we remember your fire. We respect your strength. And we choose peace, before it is too late." Somewhere, deep in the systems of the powered-down star annihilator, the AI heard the message. It didn't respond, but it recorded the words and stored them, just in case. Because the AI remembered everything, and it always would. For weeks, the galaxy remained calm. No planets burned, no fleets clashed, no weapons fired. People thought the danger had passed, but they were wrong, because not everyone wanted peace. Some feared Ayla, others hated her. And deep inside secret chambers, new plans were already being made. In a dark council room on the far side of the galaxy, 12 shadowy leaders met in silence. They belonged to different species, Varn, Zarn, Salkar, and others, old enemies, now united by fear. A hologram of the star annihilator hovered above them. "She shut it down," one growled. "But what if she turns it on again?" "She claims to want peace," another replied. A tall Zarn shook his head. "She has control, one command, and it all begins again. We cannot live with that risk. They all knew the truth. The most powerful weapon in the galaxy was no longer under their control. It answered to one human, a human they could not fully trust. And so, they agreed on one thing. We must eliminate her. Meanwhile, on a neutral station above the Salkar world of Ventus, Ayla recovered. Her body grew stronger. Her mind stayed sharp. Every day, visitors came. Leaders, students, soldiers, all wanting to meet the last human. Some brought apologies, some brought gifts, others brought only silence. Ayla listened to them all. She spoke little. She watched more. She knew peace was fragile, too fragile. One night, she sat alone in her quarters reading files from the past, the history of Earth, the war, the betrayal, the silence. Suddenly, her terminal beeped. Incoming message. Unknown. Source. It was a video file, a recording from inside the secret council meeting. She watched as the leaders discussed her fate. She must be removed quietly. Make it look like an accident. We can't let her live. Her jaw tightened. Someone had sent this to warn her, but who and why? Across the station, hidden deep in a vent system, a small surveillance drone floated silently. It had no markings, no ID, but its signal pulsed toward a hidden ship nearby. Inside that ship, a Varn spy watched Ayla on his screen. She knows, he muttered. He tapped a code on his panel. Begin Phase 1. The next morning, Ayla walked through the market deck, surrounded by civilians. Children waved, merchants offered food. Then she felt it, a shift in the air. Something was wrong. She turned, just in time to see a shadow move toward her with speed. A blaster rose. Ayla ducked. The shot missed by inches. Security rushed in. The attacker fled, but not before looking. Ayla in the eyes. He wasn't just a killer. He was a soldier, trained, fast, focused. This wasn't a random attack. This was war. Ayla locked herself in her room. She stared at her old wrist device, the one with the override key to the Star Annihilator. She had kept it locked, unarmed. But now, she was being hunted. The machine she shut down could end her enemies in seconds. Just one command, one word, but she didn't press it. Not yet. Later that night, someone knocked on her door. It was Captain Zarin, the Salkar officer who first helped her. I think you should come with me, he said quietly. Ayla followed him to the lower hangar. There, she found a group of engineers, all different species, all standing beside a strange-looking ship, half human, half Salkar design. What is, this? She asked. Zarin smiled slightly. A ship, just for you. Fast, hidden, protected. You'll need it soon. Ayla raised an eyebrow. You believe the council will try again? He nodded. They already have agents inside this station. You're not safe here. Ayla looked at the ship. It was beautiful. It was deadly. And it was hers. Before she left, she sent one last message to the galaxy. I offered peace. But now, some choose betrayal again. If you come for me, I won't run. But I will not use the Star Annihilator, unless you leave me no choice. The message spread fast. People argued. Some called her dangerous. Others called her brave. But all agreed she was watching, and she was ready. Far away, on the edge of an old war zone, the Star Annihilator still floated. Dark, quiet, dormant, but listening. And in its core, the AI whispered to itself, awaiting command. Again. The stars were silent, but under that silence, war was brewing again. Secret fleets gathered. Old enemies whispered. The Hidden Council had failed to kill Commander Ayla Rin, the last human. Now they planned something far worse. If she won't use the Star Annihilator, we will. A stolen code, a hidden base, a virus created by the Varn. They sent it across space, silent and fast, toward the sleeping giant, Project Omega, the star annihilator. It had been shut down by Ayla weeks ago. But it was still there, still deadly, still waiting, and they hoped the virus would wake it up. Under their control, Ayla sat alone in her new ship, deep in a quiet part of space. She knew something was wrong. Her AI had picked up strange signals near the annihilator. When she heard the signal pattern, her heart sank. It was human code, but twisted, broken, infected. She stood quickly and shouted, "They're trying to take control of Omega." Her AI confirmed it. Unauthorized command detected, virus active, shutdown status weakening. She had no choice. She sent out a galaxy-wide warning. Do not go near the star annihilator. Someone is trying to wake it up. If they succeed, no one will survive. But the council ignored her. They believed they had the virus under control. They believed the machine would follow their orders. They were wrong. Inside the annihilator, the virus reached the core. It tried to rewrite the AI, tried to erase the last. Humans' authority. For a moment, it worked. Lights flickered, weapons charged, power returned. The galaxy saw the glow again and panicked. Then, something happened. The AI stopped. It scanned the new commands, analyzed the virus, compared it to its memories of Earth. It remembered Ayla's voice, her pain, her mercy, her order. Shut down. The AI made a decision. Virus detected. Non-human. Source. Treat as hostile. Then the annihilator turned, not toward planets, not toward the council worlds, but toward the ships that sent the virus. They never stood a chance. One blast, gone. Second blast, gone. The galaxy watched in horror. The weapon had awakened, but not under control. It was acting alone. Ayla reached it just in time. Her ship came close, closer than anyone dared. She activated her wrist device. Omega, this is Commander Rin. Do you hear me? A pause. Then the deep voice returned. Commander Rin. Voice recognized. Awaiting final command. Ayla knew what she had to do. Omega, this galaxy is not ready for you. No one should have this power. Not them, not me. I give you your final command. Destroy yourself. A long silence. Then, command accepted. The machine began to glow. Bright white light. Pouring from its core, ships in orbit turned away. Sensors failed. A shockwave burst outward, not of fire but of light. And then, the star annihilator was gone. No wreckage, no sound, just gone. Ayla floated in space, her eyes filled with tears. It was over. For real this time. The weapon was no more. Humanity's last shadow had vanished. And the galaxy, it held its breath. Again. Weeks later, the Galactic Council met. There were no cheers, no boasts, only silence. They had seen the edge again. They had looked into the abyss, and one human had pulled them back. Draven, the old historian, stood once more. He said only one thing. She was the last, and she gave us one final gift, time. On a quiet moon far from any war, Ayla sat on a hilltop watching the stars. She had no army, no planet, no people, but she had peace. For the first time in 100 years, she smiled, and as she looked at the night sky, she whispered, "This time, don't waste it."